All right. We are live here on twitch.tv/Perry Von Vicious. Thank you for hanging out on a Wednesday night, Perry here. We're getting rolling. We're doing some toy design work tonight. Hopping into a little TinkerCad here. And this should be a good time. I always enjoy these streams. I get a lot of work done that I've been meaning to do. Some of it's stuff for the merch table, which I consider work because I end up making money off of it, and some of it's just for me, making toys that I need, or even displays for toys that I need. Um, Today, in fact, I'm actually having a little trouble figuring out what project I want to work on. I almost want to see who tunes in and see if they have an opinion. Um, for those who've been following the saga, I was working on creating this. This is the body off of a Power Wheels Bigfoot from Hot Wheels from about a year and a half ago. A very modern truck. There's a little driver in there, a little cab, and it is a very accurate replica to the Hot Wheels Bigfoot trucks from the early 90s. You can see the wheels are pretty much identical that I designed. This is all resin printed, and I'm really happy with how that project was coming along. And I love the axle system that I have set up there. I'm actually using metal rods for axles now instead of pre-printing my own axles. It's a lot more sturdy. It holds together much better. Hey, Mr. Rain, welcome. Cody Brooks rolling in. So I'm a little between which project I want to do. So I can work on more chassis for that project because I do have a Samson body that needs a home. I've got this sort of sporty desert race truck body that needs a home. There's this older, very classic Chevy body needs a home. That could look good on a retro style truck. And then this very cheapo Walmart brand Blazer body. All of those I need to do design work for, and we may do some of that. I want to make some more wheel variants because while I modeled what I made after this particular Bigfoot from the series, this was the more common, and you can actually see there's a pretty good size difference in those tires. So I'm kind of thinking I want to make the smaller ones to go along with this as well. So that may be something we have to address. Hope everyone is doing well and staying warm. Oh yeah. Thankfully down here in Western Mass, it's mostly just been raining a little bit. It's actually kind of warm. I saw steam coming up off of the snow on my drive home today. So I could work on some of those. That's actual like toy making, right? Like that's making parts for replica toys, parts replacement parts for toys that I have. Um, and I do also think I need to rework my design for my Matchbox Supercharger series. This is the 1980 86 Rolling Thunder, 86, 85. I was 1 year old when that toy came out. Um, Or the other thing that I sort of need to do, and you can actually sort of see on the screen here, this was a design for a display shelf I did some time ago for some very specific Hot Wheels that I collect, and I recently came into through the generosity of some fans a whole bunch. I don't even know if it'll focus. So that one's got a bunch of yellow on it, so it's gonna mess with the green screen. But these little the micro machines monster trucks. I got a bunch of them now, like a whole pile of them. I got, I mean, I'll hold the box up and you'll see. I got a whole box of them. There's pullers in here that look so cool. Like, oh, that one's green. I can't hold that one up. A little bit limiting when I'm doing the green screen. Uh, I do have some pulling tractors that came with it, and there's even a pull sled. Like, I need to make a shelf to display that. And I do have these handy dandy Dollar Tree acrylics that are a good fronter. Let's see. All right. Hey, Mr. Rain, let's see. Speaking of creating, will we get updated Team Mad Figs of Modern Perry and Ripper? So The most modern Perry figure is out, and I've been selling it. Let me see if I can. I don't think I actually have one on me. I do have the most up-to-date one is the one I've had at shows recently, and I just did brand new Rip figures. In fact, I believe he posted it. So I'm gonna see if I can find that picture. It might be a little hard. He tends to post on Instagram, and it's a little bit elusive. But I think I took some screen grabs, and so I may have to send them to myself to show them off. So I'm right now the debate is, do I work on new monster trucks? Do I work on displays for these micro machines that I've just come into because they are pretty amazing? Or do I flip the script entirely and we do a little bit more work on the blank M.U.S.C.L.E recreations so that we can start on the line of muscle figures? It is definitely a lot to think about. So yeah, I may have to find this picture of Rip because Delmy also has a figure now. For those who don't know, Delmy has a figure that I made for them. There it is. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to send that to myself so I can pull it up on screen here. Give me 1 second. There we go. I'm gonna bring it into frame here. But yeah, there is a an updated Rip with his hair back and his long tights. Yeah, there we go. It's oh, that's not helping. All right, well, I guess I'm not zooming in on that. Give me 1 second to see if I can make this picture work the way I want it to. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. These are on the shelf in the office at Kyushu Pro in Japan right now. Delmy and Rip did the painting on these themselves, so it's their style of painting. But these are the updated Rip and Delmy figures, and they look pretty great. I particularly I'm very pleased with in this. It's a little hard to see in this picture, but there are some pretty cool changes I made to the Rip figure. He has the armbands he wears now, the Farouks, if you will, the headband, and his hair is tied back. I did improve the sculpt on his beard and face a fair bit, and he is now in his long tights, which is the look that he does now. So I did improve those a bit. The Delmy figure, you can only sort of see part of it there. I definitely have a better picture that I could pull up. Um, I'll have to the next time I'm doing some like blender work on here and really working on the figures, I'll have to pull those up then. But yeah, the muscle figures are the next big figure project I have because I want to make those little guys, and I could make a bunch of people relatively short order because they don't have moving parts. It's kind of the great thing there. Um, hey, Rye, welcome. Everybody's rolling in now. Uh, yeah, so I'm really at a kind of a tough decision here on what to do. My heart is telling me to work on the display for the micro machines. This is a line of toys that I wanted for a really long time, and only recently did a fan kind of just hook me up with a whole bunch of them. I had one of my own from when I was little, and those who've collected the more recent Monster Jam minis, those are about the same scale. I actually have a little bag of those here. We'll be able to kind of look at that in a second. And then also one fan sent me these, and I don't even know what toy company made these. I would need like a microscope to read it. But they're not the same. This is a little bitty barefoot that's, you know, the same scale. The tires are about the same, but like the design is way different. It's really wide and it's really low. So I love that there's like other strange brands I didn't know about that had a barefoot and a hot stuff from that series. Um, yeah, so I'm kind of digging these out now because I haven't even counted how many have been given to me. And there's all the pullers. Now, the nice thing about the pullers on the display, they're a lot shorter, so they're going to take up less space. And I like that. I like that. We can fit more rows because the little funny car pullers are very small. I mean, Perry hand for scale. And like I said, these did come with a TNT Motorsports pulling sled even, which is so cool. Now I'm also tempted, like my heart says make the display for these so that I have them up, right? But there's another part of my heart that says I should make the play set for these, which I know I've shown on stream before, but I'm gonna look at it anyway. Yeah, there it is. This thing is so cool. All right, there it is. Let's bring that into frame here. This is the playset that they sold back in the day. I mean, get a look at that. There's all the repair shop that says Monster Truck Arena, parking, all the stuff down here. And then there's this little ramp with a little starter thing that lets them go down. They go over the crush cars and under a finish line. How cool is that? I'm pretty sure, I mean, look at this. None of those parts are very big. The ramp is too big to fit on one of my printers, but I could split it in two and put a little connector on it. So, like, it's possible that I could make these. And you can actually see they have down here this little Gravedigger, these trucks. Those are Monster Jam Minis. So you can see that they really are the same scale. And in fact, I have a couple of those on the desk here with me. I'll pull some out so we can compare. And you'll see in my camera here. That is Nightlife 2 from the 1991 Matchbox series. And this is Monster Mutt, the Rottweiler version from Monster Jam Minis. And they're like exactly the same scale. Like that's a really nice. You can play with those together and it absolutely makes sense. And those I've also been gifted a whole bunch by fans. So very cool. Got the old iced coffee. All right. We've been on for about 12 minutes. I think it's time to actually dive into making something here. But I want to read the room. I want to test the waters. What do we think? Do we work on the display for the micro machines? Do we work on some parts for the other monster trucks? Do we work on the muscle figures? Or do we do some work maybe trying to recreate some of this? I mean, the trouble with remaking this, as cool as it is, I don't know where I would put it for now. Like, I don't really have a spot, which it complicates matters. All right. All right. Let's think it through. If I want to make the muscle figures, we got to get some reference pictures up. And I'm kind of thinking we need to make some more muscle blanks. This is our generic muscle blank that we made previously. I'm going to open that up so we can get a good look at it. And I mean, that came out really good, right? Like all we have to do is go in and add detail. And that's something I would do in Blender, is I might do a little more roughing out here just to add mass. You know, like if it was me, I would try to add like some hair and then go in and edit it in Blender. Um, but generally speaking, like we're kind of looking at it there. So I feel like we can expand on this. Like it shouldn't be too hard to, because yeah, this isn't even grouped. These are all just different pieces still. It wouldn't be too hard to take all these pieces, copy them into another file, and then alter it, right? Like let's say we wanna put them in a different pose, or we wanna have fists instead of open hands. I mean, obviously my figure is going to be doing my kind of through the this pose that the half human, half monster truck figure does, kind of my through the entryway pose is what I need my figure doing. And this is one of the things when I make these figures, because I've made figures for Rip, I've made them for Delmy, I've made them for me, I've made them for Joey Nails, I've made them for a bunch of people. Uh, I always do mine first because I'm very self-conscious about the fact that I'm still learning the process, you know what I mean? So I want to do the best job I can when I'm doing it for someone else. I want people to be happy with the work that I do for them. So, yeah, I think we're gonna do a little work on those muscle figures. That's, I got on here, I did some rambling to open up the stream, which I'm sure everyone really enjoyed, and all in the name of kind of taking my own temperature here, feeling like, what is it that I want to do? Where's my heart on this? And I think today it's the muscle figures. I think we need to make one or two more blanks that are a little different. We need to make some other hands for sure. And then, I mean, if we get really ambitious, if something really starts coming along, maybe we'll hop into Blender and start sculpting on one. But yeah, lot to consider here. I'm really, really looking forward to this weekend. That's been weighing heavy on my mind. Teaming up with Heath Slater for Blitzkrieg Pro. Gonna be a hell of a show. Teaming up with Heath Slater and Delta Force in a big 8-man tag match. So let me throw it in the chat now. If you don't have your tickets and you're planning to go, grab your tickets for Blitzkrieg Pro before it's too late, before you run out of time. Because we got a big match coming up this weekend. Very excited. Here it is. There it is. Me and Delta Force with Heath Slater taking on the team of Mike Grassa, Stan Michael, and the ECBC. Gonna be a big show. Really looking forward to that. Hey, Adam NX67. Heading off to a haircut. What time is it where you are? A little late for a haircut? Is haircut code for something? You can tell me. An early show, 2 p.m. this Saturday. Boy, I wonder what call time is. God, they're gonna tell me to be there at like 11 a.m. or something crazy. It's all right. It's all right. It's gonna be a good time. We got some fun surprises in line. There's a toy drive going on. Gonna be a great show. Rye says, sadly missing this one. Oh no. Is does that mean Nika Beans is also missing this one? That's a bummer. But plenty more where this one came from. Ah, too bad. Well, you will be missed. All right, so I think what we need to do is I'm going to take all of this, I'm going to copy all of it, and then I'm going to fire up a brand new design here. Because I want to make another one, but I want it to have a different pose. Yeah, looking good. All right, good start. There we go. I was about to say something looks off, but I know what it is. It was that weird lenticular view or whatever it is. Yeah, the perspective view. I prefer the lenticular. All right. Did get a booking for New Year's Eve. Oh, heck yeah. Let's go. Cody Brooks will be there. Well, hey, some of the crew can make it. That's great. And let's see, Adam at X67 says, had a 6 p.m. appointment, but they called at 5 saying, oh, 7:30 haircut. That is a late in the evening haircut, let me tell you. All right. So, working with this, I'm going to rename the file, and we're going to call this one. So let's call this one muscle blank, and then like fists, because I want to make fists on this one and have like a different pose. So we're going to have to move some parts around and really kind of like we want to make it look cool. And maybe this one won't be totally symmetrical. Maybe this one will be, rather than totally symmetrical, right? It's going to be a little like, So let's start. First thing I want to do on one side, I want to delete the arm. So we're going to lose that on the one side. Now I want to change the gesture, and I want something that I can compare it to. So let's look up some of these figures and see if we can find one with a pose that we like, that we can sort of use for reference here. I'm just going to... God's sakes, Epic Games, you fucking suck. Forgive my language, folks. Downloaded that stupid Fortnite game, and now I get all these dumb pop-ups and apps that want to do things to my computer. Just rubbish technology. Regret downloading it altogether. But I had to check out the Disney Island. I had to do it. All right, so we want one of these. Like, this is cool. This figure gives us a pretty good look at the fist. Yeah, the hawk also gives us a pretty good look at sort of the cartoony. Ooh, okay, okay. This is what I want for reference. Yeah, that's gonna work. Yeah, we're gonna use that for reference. All right, bring that so I can keep an eye on it, and we're gonna work on making a fist. I'm also going to change, well, actually, the angle on that arm still looks about the same, so I don't mind it. So we're going to put a fist on there, and then we're going to make a second arm in a different pose on the other side. So let's figure out how we want this fist to work now. It looks to me like this actually isn't a big problem. I think this can come... Might be an angle thing. Maybe it needs to lean forward. I also want my movements to be a little finer here, so I'm going to bump the snap grid down a little bit. All right. And these fingers are going to be a very similar thing. So I'm actually going to lose the fingers for now. We're going to start with just those ones and reshape this whole mess. Okay, that's still pretty good. Okay. Now with this, let's get our left-hand view. Oh boy, yeah, we actually want to come like out there. Bring it forward a little. And then this is going to fold over entirely. So we need... Let's go about to there. Yeah, let's go to the front view. Just gonna take it to about here. Yeah, this definitely still needs something. Yeah, that's getting pretty close. It is a little weird to look at it in this orientation. I feel like something is going to end up off no matter what I do. But it seems pretty okay. Hey, Bobby Gilbert. Good to see you, big man. Working on some more muscle figures, doing some different poses here. Let's get that left view. Okay, I think we just about got this where we want it. It is a very strange angle that we're looking at this from. Yeah, there we go. That's sort of a clenched finger. And let's see, how's the angle on this? I actually think I kind of want to turn everything in a bit. So then this we want to come to about there. This I'm also going to bring it in and over a fair bit. Which then means this needs to come. Oh, no, 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 no. Like to there. Yeah, I like that it's kind of making contact here. That's actually going to be really helpful. I think it could actually be a little shorter. It's looking a little claw-like. There we go. Yeah, okay, I'm starting to see it now. This is going to actually need to go way more forward and then down a fair bit. Getting the gesture right on a hand is really difficult. Watching AEW, that's right. You got your big main event you're looking forward to tonight, Bobby Gilbert. You got that Eddie Kingston match going on. All right. Yeah, that's gonna work. That's gonna work because we're gonna have a front piece of the thumb crossed right there, just a little knuckle there. So now what I want to do, so I want to take that. I want to take that. Control D. And let's get a bit of a top view, I guess. Go to about there. We're going to come down and in just a little. All right, then Control D gets us a little bit closer. And with this one, I actually want to shrink the whole thing just a little. Then bring it down. Okay. Yeah, then Control D. Basically gets us where we want to be. We're going to go down a little bit more. Then we're going to, I think we actually want to shrink that in just a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is go that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. We're just going to bring it in until it looks like a hand. Yeah, yeah, looking good. I kind of want these to attach, but I think they'll be okay like that. Let's back out. Let's zoom out and get a little bit of a look at what we've done here. Yeah, I literally do think we can squeeze those in a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take that, 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 that. And I want to come like that. And we're going to come down a hair. We'll go back a little just to smooth it all out. Which means we're also going to take those, come down just a little. Ooh, and you know what? I think they gotta, actually all gotta shrink back just a hair. Yeah, maybe even a little more. Had to believe that Harley is a year hard to believe that Harley is a year older. Harley wait, Harley who? I need more context, Bobby Gilbert. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now we're going to have a little piece of the thumb come in the front here. Yeah, I think it does want to actually angle down a little more even. Yeah, kind of like that. Then it can swing out a little. Yeah, that's looking a little bit more like what I need. And even then, we can probably come back and back just a little. Then it can come over here. Yeah, that's starting to get there. Yeah, Adam. Oh, Harley Cameron. Oh, okay. See, I posted on Blue Sky that if TK was Eddie, has Eddie win, I would rescind my challenge to him for NBA Jam. You mean you wouldn't play him anymore? Wait, your challenge to who? Your challenge to TK or to Eddie? Because either way, I want to see that game. I'm in. You've sold a ticket. Oh, you challenged TK to NBA Jam. Well, that rules. Love NBA Jam. All right. Now we just got a little copy of that. And let's see, where's this need to go? It's going to be like close to there, but we need to rotate it a bit. It's actually not far off from what I want. It's got to angle up a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, that might be a bit much. Let's bring it back. Just make it a little bit smaller. I don't like this here, so let's see if we gotta be a better angle for that. Yeah, something like that is a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Something about that thumb isn't reading quite right to me. And fun fact, Tony Storm isn't from Australia. Then where is Tony Storm from? Yeah, see, something about that thumb isn't reading right. I think what I need to do is start over fresh. So we're going to bring in a cube, bring it up. I'm going to make it about the size we want. Say it probably wants to be like that, by about there. It's pretty close to the right width. We could probably go a hair smaller. Yeah, something like that. And then we gotta radius that bad boy. Make it the back of the hand. Yeah, I think it could go a little bit bigger. Something like about there. New Zealand. Is that? I don't think that that's correct, is it? Oh, yeah, look at that. New Zealand, a New Zealand Australian professional wrestler. Explain that. How can you be both? I mean, I guess the place you're born from comes first, and then the place that you lived your life comes second. Yeah, born in Auckland, New Zealand, billed from Gold Coast, Australia. She was only 4 when they moved to Australia, so I don't know. Saying she's from New Zealand, like I guess technically, that's a little bit like saying that my Volkswagen is from Germany. Is it? Like it's made in an American plant back in the 80s. Like probably not totally accurate. I don't know. That said, New Zealand rules, so like, hard to complain about being from New Zealand. That's actually pretty sick. All right, we're gonna bring in sphere, bump the steps up, bring it way up to our little hand here. And now I want to turn it into fingers. So we gotta see, bring it way in and then bring it way in. I'm not even gonna like make sure that this is exact, I'm just kind of, this is part that we do by feel. And I want to get that thumb right first, I think. That thumb's got a real specific look. Um, yeah. That hand, I want that first. That's my first concern. Then I want to make these fingers that come around. Because once I make that, it's the same mold over on this one. Just tilt the whole thing at a funky angle. Let's see. Charlie, formerly Dakota Kai. What was her name Charlie before on the Indies in the Stardom days? I forget what her name was then. Is wrestling Chris Statlander next year. Huh. Bobby's got ads. Arlie Camp. I don't know what camped means, but he doesn't know what I'm saying because he has an ad. Life is complicated, you guys. All right, let's try to get that thumb first. So what I want to do is bring this bit out front. I think. So let's drop a duplicate of it there. I think the first thing I want to do is kind of make it big and fat and sideways like that. Has she not had a championship before? What belt was she fighting for? You know what? We can actually go the other way with this, I think. Yeah, something like that. We'll come in here. It's going to just be a little heel of a protuberance here. There we go. AW Women's Tag Team Championship. Oh, who was she teaming with? It's cool. I like Harley Cameron. She's She does one of my favorite things that a wrestler can do. She doesn't rely solely on wrestling to make her interesting. I think the least interesting thing a wrestler can be is just a wrestler. That's incredibly uninteresting. Hey, Nickabeans, welcome. Oh, it was Willow too. Is that? And that's not Willow's first belt there, but that's her first belt in a little while. That's awesome. But yeah, I think one of the least interesting things a wrestler can be is a wrestler because every wrestler is a wrestler. Hard to stand out when you're just doing what everyone else in your industry does, you know? Harley Cameron, though, with the ventriloquism and the music and being a talented comedic performer, like, it stands out. It's different. And I really dig that. I think that that is greatly underrated. All right. I think, you know what we need to do? I need to take all of this. I need to move it far away from that. We're going to focus in on just the hand here. Okay, I do actually think that this is probably looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and bring in another sphere. Steps way up, make it nice and smooth. I do want to keep it a little rounder like that. The Babes of Wrath? Is that really what they call themselves? That's crazy. I've heard worse names, says Perry Von Vicious. Like, I'm one of those wrestlers with like a comedically bad name, but I like it. So, you know, it's fine. Everything's fine. Get that out of the way. Do that just a little bit. And this is all just gonna sneak in here. I want to get a little bit of an angle on this so we can come back out a bit. I think we're gonna have to raise it some. Omega Club 6. Hey, Perry, can't wait for Blitzkrieg Saturday. Going to be a great show. Looks like a card. I am super psyched. And as I was saying earlier, everybody, everybody should run along and grab their tickets to Blitzkrieg Pro if they haven't yet. Dropping it in the chat. For those who haven't seen, going to be a big match, big old match coming up. Me, Nick Robles, Dante Drago, and Heath Slater taking on Mike Rocca, Stan Michael, in with the Outcrowd Leary, and Logan Black. Going to be a great match. Very much looking forward to that. It's my last match, my last show of 2025, and looking forward to ending it on a high note because I always have a great time at Blitzkrieg. So looking forward to that one. All right. All right. So I think with that, I think we have our thumb. And I don't mind that it's a little chunky and weird looking. I do think I kind of want to, yeah, I want to do like one of those. And then let's go ahead and select just the thumb. I think we can maybe curling under it in a minute, and that's going to bring this all together. See, I'm so sad I'm missing it. Someone's bringing me to John Waters. Hey, that's pretty sick. That's pretty awesome. John Waters every summer when I lived in Oakland would host. He would play host at a big punk rock outdoor show at the one of the big the common parks in Oakland, and it was called the Hamburger Festival for some reason. Uh, and every year they would surprise everyone with who the headline band was. They would never tell anyone who it was. One year it was the Reunited Mummies, and they full on rode three wheelers to the stage in full costume like the old days. And then another year it was the Aquabats as a surprise headliner. And John Waters would host the stage all day in the brutal heat. Oh, I bet that's an amazing time. How could it not be? Bobby says he's streaming Cyberpunk 2077 tonight. Hey, that's cool. How are you liking that game? Seems like it's pretty popular, so. All right. Now what I want to do, I think I can probably steal the fingers off this other hand. Put them on there. Kind of resize them a bit. So let's go ahead and focus here. I'm just going to go right down the line here and grab all the parts I need for it. There's our duplicate. All right, we are going to need to do a little bit of straighten this out here. John Waters really embodies for the variety arts a lot of what I was saying earlier are things that I look for in great wrestlers, and it's being more than just the baseline of what your industry is. Like it would be very easy for John Waters just to be a stand-up or just an actor, but he's done so many other things. He's so willing to commit to characters and to be self-effacing. Uh, yeah, just what an incredible person, an incredible character. Like in a world where being a character isn't always seen as being very cool. Like that's a dude who is very cool in his character, and it comes from the confidence he has in himself and the persona that he portrays. Let's bring him back. No, no, no. Let's go about there. Let's see here. So I like what we're looking at here, but there's still work to be done on it. Partly, all of it's got to kind of do one of those. I think we gotta redo the angle here a little bit. We gotta give it a little bit of that. Yeah. Now it's just going to be adjusting individual parts. There we go. This is the angle I wanted. Wheeler Yuta looks like a mutt. Yeah, he looks unkempt. That's part of the look that they're trying to have, right? You know, they're not cosmetically appealing sports entertainers. They're fighters, I think, is the deal there. Although I couldn't tell you, I haven't watched the product enough to feel confident in that opinion. don't know that that assessment is fully accurate. I think this guy needs to come over a bit. And this one maybe too. Boom, something like that. All right. Then let's go ahead and take these pieces, bring them forward and over just a bit. Let's see, how's that reading? Is that looking fist-like? It's looking good. The heel of that thumb is a little wonky. So I think it needs to go like that, but then maybe something like that. Yeah, something like that. Let's get a top view on that. Yeah, we want to rotate that. That's what's going on there. Stretch that out a little. The back end in just a hair. Yeah, that's looking better. Okay, I think that's kind of the hand we're looking for. Now what I want to do is take all of this. I kind of want to fill the hand so it doesn't feel like a square with fingers, you know what I mean? This needs to, yeah, that needs to come over that way a little bit more. Yeah, that's better. I think we can shrink that entire thumb down just a scooch like that. Now looking at it, I think this finger can go a little bit wider. Yeah. All right, I think we got there. I think that's the fist we wanted. So let's go ahead and let's make a judgment call. Yeah, I think that's looking good. John Moxley doesn't look like a mutt. He looks like someone who wants to destroy Vince Jr. I don't know. I've never this may be a very strange opinion. I'm just not a huge John Moxley fan. He doesn't really do much for me. I don't know how to describe it. Right. Let's go ahead and bring this forward. I do want to make a copy of it before I do that, so let's Control D. Drag it on over, and then I do want to flip that horizontally. And now I'm just looking at, this is my my reference shot for those just joining. This is kind of what I'm trying to do here. Is combine those two. Why do you say Don Callis hates Tommy Dreamer? What does that mean? We get our straight front view here. This needs to be like here. Well, you know what? I actually think this whole thing needs to be a bit bigger. Yeah, something like that. It needs to be like kind of comedically big. Out like that. That's maybe a little too much. He's always dissing Tommy on Twitter. Oh, I wouldn't. Is Tommy Dreamer on Twitter? I feel like he's a little old for that, isn't he? Like, I feel too old for Twitter these days, even though it's dead center for a millennial to be on there. But Tommy Dreamer is like properly old. Let's see, how's this? How's this reading? Actually, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. That looks how I want it. That's a little bit better. Shrink that in a little. Yeah, yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. I want this other arm here. It's going to be at a slightly different angle. Ah, there we go. So this one, bring here, and we're gonna mess with the angle on this a bit. Give it a little bit like so. It's gonna come forward just a hair, and we'll make it match. There we go. Something about like that. Yeah, so not quite the same as this. And this is going to be significantly different. I want to see what happens if I go about like that, and then like that. Actually might not be far off. If Shibata and Hobbs beat Swerve and Strickland, there's a possibility Eddie is going to beat Joe. I'm going to be honest, for my money, I don't think Eddie beats Joe. I don't think it happens. I think Joe just got that belt and they're not going to take it off him just yet. But that's my wrestler instinct. Like my brain says, nah, they're not doing that yet. But who knows? Stranger things have happened and people would be pretty excited. Okay, we want it to kind of get aligned there. Come to about there. I do want a little bit more of a kick out in this, so let's just a little bit there. Bobby says, I mean, Joe does have a say too. In you mean just in terms of he doesn't want to he'll try to fight and win the match? Are we keeping in strict kayfabe terms here? I just want to know what our parameters are. Make that just a little bit smaller. Yeah, I think that's looking okay. Yeah, about like that is what we want. Now we're going to rotate this to about there. I think we want to come something like that. Bring that forward some. And over a little. Maybe up. It's always a little hard to tell exactly how we want this to position. Okay, let's see, how's that? Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, dang it. Come on. Go something like about there. Yeah, that's looking good. Let's get a little comparison. Oh, on if he wants to drop the belt. Wait, so are you sticking with kayfabe, or are you of the opinion that Joe has creative control? Because not a chance. There we go. Look at that. There we go. Perry versus Okada. Ugh. I look, that would be awesome. He's got to give me any match in order to get there. Yeah, this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Oh, you know what? On this version of the blank, I noticed the feet are kind of out more. Let's do that. Let's stick with that. I think that's a good idea. Very good. Yeah, we got to give those feet a little more duck walk, a little more jaunty duck walk angle. They're not nearly out enough. Yeah, let's make it extreme. Why not? How's that look? That's pretty good. The other one, we'll go a little bit more as well, but not the same, not out quite as much. Okay, feel good with that. Okay. Not a chance. Strong disagree. The wrestlers who founded the company don't have creative control, let alone someone they signed. At this point, I believe there's really only one wrestler on television who has any creative control over what they're doing, and he will no longer be on television in 4 days ever again. So I think that's the only wrestler in the modern era with any kind of creative control. Who in AEW would I love to face? My God, I always have trouble with these questions. Like people always ask me about like dream matches and stuff, and I don't know, you know? Um, I mean, part of me is like, all right, is it like who would I have a good match with? Is it like what's the like, wow, I got to do that thing. Like what am I doing? Am I doing like what's my self-indulgent like fan markout thing that I could do, or is it literally like who could I go in and like really show out with? Because I'm not totally sure. I always struggle to answer those questions. All right, I like this one with the fist. This is a good alternative. Wolf. Gosh, I don't even know who's on the roster anymore. Hang on, I have to Google current AEW roster because I don't even know who's there. Like I watch so little television wrestling. I don't even know who's like anywhere. Let's see. Well, there's a few people here I've already wrestled. Powerhouse Hobbs I've wrestled. I've wrestled Aaron Solo. I was Aaron Solo's first match. I was his first several matches, in fact. Let's see. Billy Gunn. They have Danielson listed on the roster still, but that's not totally accurate, right? Um, yeah, I wrestled Hobbs a bunch of times. Way, way, way back in the year 2011 when he was known as Will Rood, Rood. Will Rood was his first name on the Indies. And he would be unrecognizable to you because he was not on the gas yet. He was always a good kid and always in good shape, but nothing likes what he looks like now. Uh, nice kid, quiet, just super nice guy, still super chill. Like he and I still ham it up on Twitter together every once in a great while. See, I've been in the ring with Keith Lee. We didn't wrestle each other, but we had a very funny altercation. I punked him out in front of a bunch of people. It's a great story, but not one that I particularly like to tell because I was a little bit of a dick to him because he was kind of acting like a moron. And of all the places, it was at a Kaiju Big Battle show. So yeah, Keith Lee, weird dude. See, Kyle O'Reilly's a nice dude. I've enjoyed talking with him when we've met. I'm just scrolling through this list now. I've wrestled Mark Sterling. Let's see. Ooh. I think I know my answer of who I'd really like to wrestle, but it's gonna be a weird, like, sort of non-answer. Right. Yeah, I think wow, there's I've been on shows with almost this entire roster. It's crazy. Like I was on dozens of shows with MJF before he got signed. It's weird to really look through the roster and to think about it. I'll wait till Bobby's back to answer his question, but I got my answer. It's gonna be a weird one. All right. So let's go ahead and see. Do we make another muscle blank and change the pose, or do we jump into? I think we're going to jump into some monster truck design here. So I'm happy with how this came out, and I do have my picture up and saved so that we can make the proper thumbnail later, 'cause that'll be a good one to have. Bobby, I saved my answer for when you came back. I didn't answer while you were gone. I'm more polite than that. So my answer, give me 1 second. I'm grabbing some stuff for a thumbnail here. Let's go ahead and grab this guy. Drop that into my thumbnail thing. Okay, my answer was, I'm going to bring it over so that we can see it together. My answer was Michael Nakazawa. If I could wrestle anyone at AEW, it would be Michael Nakazawa. A big old mark for like DDT and comedy wrestling and Japanese wrestling. My top pick, easily. Similarly, I would love to wrestle Samoa Joe. I would love to wrestle Pac is one that I've liked for a really long time. Beast Mordos would be cool. I'd like to wrestle him. Any of the luchadors. God, I love wrestling luchadors. It's just a style I really enjoy. But yeah, there's a whole ton of like I'm scrolling through the roster and there's tons of people I'd like to wrestle. You know, what's not to like? They're all great. All right, but we are going to hop into a different project. I'm going to open this so that I have these tires up here because they have some things I'm gonna need to steal here in a second because I am going to remake one of these in a different style. I'd like one that's a little bit more like monster truck tready. Like these have sort of that like Lego tread, and I want one that has like the monster truck tread. Something probably more in the style of the Matchbox Superchargers tread, and maybe even like the same scale. Um, of course, I can always alter the scale, but and the truth be told, these are not a terribly dissimilar size to the tires that we designed here. You know, you see it's pretty similar. Yeah, actually, wow. Very similar. Holy moly. Okay. It would be great. I would really enjoy that. I mean, his reputation is what it is because he's very good. So there's a lot to like there. All right, new design. I'm gonna drop that in because we're sort of working from that. All right. So go ahead and ungroup. Okay, good, good. We want to keep that. We're going to ungroup again. That's fine. We want to ungroup again. And now is where we got to start getting careful. All right. Let's get in here. And I'm going to get rid of all of these. So is there an easy way for me to do this? Of course there isn't. All right. Well, we're just going to have to do it one at a time and just trod our way through this. Okay, let's get over on this side. Get rid of those. Get rid of those. All right, and now we are back to the sort of base level of what we have here. Now this, I want to round more, but I don't think I can. Yeah, I really can't. All right. Now that's okay. We can sort of stick with what we have there. Unless I can think of a way to round this more. Let's see. There might be a way to do that. Maybe I can. Bobby says maybe I could do that in my figure if I get a Samoa Joe figure for Christmas when I buy the PVV muscle figure. I mean, their sizing, they're going to be very They're going to really struggle. Perry's going to have an uphill battle. It'll be like he's fighting a kaiju, but the spirit of the match will be there. Absolutely. All right. So, one thing I know I want to change on this tire design is I do want to bring, I've got one of the physical tires here. This buffer here can be a lot shorter. So that's something we're going to adjust now. I'm just going to do it by, oh, I got two of them there. Oh, geez. Okay. Let's zoom way in. Right. That should be both. And let's go ahead and, like, I want it to be very minimal. Oh, is it still moving 1 millimeter at a time? Oh, that's nonsense. All right, there we go. So let's go to like there. Okay, that's going to work a lot better, I think. Not totally sure what that is. Why I put it there. Doesn't end up in the final model. Let's see, I think we can probably lose that. Yeah, we can lose that. Whatever that was, it's gone now. It is unnecessary for this design. Today is the 50-year anniversary of Terry Funk winning the NWA World Championship. Which time? Right, it had to have been a lot more than once. I guess it would have been whenever he won it in 75. That would have been right before his first retirement, right? I want to see what happens if I just regroup all this right now, because I know it's going to mess up the hubcap here. Because there's an order that these need to be connected. Yeah, because that's not right. Right, let's try this. Let's go boom and boom. Let's group just those for now. Okay, good. Now let's say that and that maybe. Group that. Got to go one bit at a time here. Now I think we gotta raise this up out of there. No, no, it's correct. All right, and then want to group that, and I think that's gonna leave, yeah, all the rest in there. Those are all individual right now. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. And let's just for the heck of it, let's click that and see how long before it becomes trouble. Okay, it really doesn't have to go that deep in there. Do a little more than that. There we go. We'll go to like there. And now we'll group that. Okay. And then those are all still individual bits, so we gotta group the whole thing so that nothing breaks. I don't want to have anything go wrong here. I did think about putting some lettering on this going around, but that's going to be a lot of work, and I don't know how well it's going to show up. So maybe. I will say the quality on this looks phenomenal. Every one of those, I don't know if it probably won't show up on camera, but every one of those little lug nuts is visible. So cool. All right. So let's go ahead and see if we can give this a tread and a sizing kind of like this. It's already about the right width and about the right height. So that's good. Feel good about that. But we gotta give it a tread that feels right. So let's get a front view here. Let's get rid of that nonsense view. Let's put it up on end. Let's bring it up to, not that it matters. Bring it up to about yonder. All right, and now we gotta get that tread going that we want. So I'm trying to think. We can go in with sort of the squares like we did before, or we could go in a bit more rounded. I think rounded is going to give us the look that I want. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to need this guy. We're going to give it all the sides. Make it crazy long and crazy little. Right. And I do have my digital calipers here, so I am going to measure so that I get the tread on this correct. All right, the dip in between these treads is, best I can tell, about 2.5 millimeters wide. And it's definitely going to be not that deep. So let's go ahead and say 2.5. And then for how deep it is, it's really not deep at all. Like it's a very shallow tread. 0.89. We're going to call it 1 because I don't mind if it's a little extra deep. The printing process, sometimes you lose a little of that anyway. Call that 1. Okay. We're going to make that a negative. No, no, not. We're going to make that into a negative. And let's get our view here. I want to come to like there or so. And now this is the part where I'm going by eye, I guess, right? And I guess I can kind of measure the angle it's at and just see like what's the difference. Yeah, I don't know. All right. So now I can shrink this way down. And now I am just doing this by eye. Let's call it about there. Something like that. Okay. And now I'm going to do something real tricky. Bring this in. This I'm going to turn back into a solid briefly. I'm just going to use it to cut the end off. So we have a flat end on this. Okay. Now this can go back to being an empty. Okay. Let's get it as much to the middle as we can. That actually looks pretty good. We may have to mess with our depth a little, but let's see. Yeah, I think I actually wanna make this a little bit wider. And then I kind of wanna, yeah, just do that a little, just a little. Just a little bitty bit. And now let's go until it's a good tread on there. Now to me, that looks like a pretty good tread. I think maybe it could be deeper. Let's do like that. See how that looks. I think that might be okay. And we're going to test it just to make sure. Just to make sure. Nicka Beans with the fine tuning of the tire. I see what you did there. All right, just to see. Let's see how that tread looks if we group it all together. Oh, I don't know if that did what I wanted it to do. I may have, or it's just being really slow, which is totally possible. Need to give it a second while it figures itself out. TinkerCad can get really slow when you start to group a lot of objects, which is annoying, but, not so bad. All right, let's get a look at this tread. Now, it is pretty shallow toward the middle, but on the edge, it gives us that sort of telltale monster truck cut. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with that. All right, we're going to undo that real quick. I'm going to take that. And now comes the tricky part. I got to figure out how to make it go around, and then we got to copy it. Right. So I want to take just that. I want to Control D, and then we're going to flip it in a few directions. We're going to go that way, and we're going to flip it that way. Oh, maybe that's not everything I need to do. Maybe what I need to do. There's a trick to this, and I got to figure out what it is. I'll flip it upside down. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. So Control D. We're going to flip it upside down. Yeah, and then we bring it over to this side, where it's still going the right way. Okay, good. We just want to make sure that it's sort of similar distance here. So sort of a similar cut. Really all we're looking for. I think that is. I think that's very similar. Okay. Now we click off it. Now we click that and we hit Control D. And now comes the tricky part. We find out if our work was good. Oh, not quite. Oh, yeah, not quite. It was so much easier when these weren't at an angle. That's pretty good. Like that's, looking pretty uniform anyway. Okay, let's click off. Now let's select all four. Let's Control D. Now let's try rotating that and see what happens. So weird looking the way that it doesn't really play quite right. Okay, we're gonna. Okay. I think what I need to do is copy this. Yeah. Boy, this is really tricky now. This is where it's making me think because I have altered this at multiple angles, which is complicated and a little bit of a mess. All right. I know we want to do that. I believe we want to do that. Then we want to do this. Let's see here. All right. Now I'm just gonna maybe eyeball it, I guess, and see what happens. Let's get that front view again. I think we want to come down a little more to like there. Yeah, that looks pretty similar. Even that, maybe it needs to come down more. Yeah, maybe something like that. All right, now let's try. If we're going to take that, and we're going to take that, we're going to Control D, and let's rotate them. I can try to figure out how much space goes between these, but I am just guessing. It's got to be like actually pretty little space between them. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Let's see what happens if we keep going around. If they end up staying pretty similar. Yeah, there we go. That's what we wanted the whole time. Heck yeah. All right. Now comes the fun part because now the next part's easy. Come here, we pick that. Control D. We're going to mirror it horizontally. And then I'm going to bring it over till they just touch. And then we are going to rotate until they're just offset. Just like that. Let's get a look at what we have here. I feel pretty good about this. Let me get a look here. Yeah, I think we kind of did it. I think we did it, you guys. All right, who's ready to see the fruits of our labor? Here we go. Here we go. The big reveal. Come on. Look how I want it to look. Oh, it needs a minute to think. Oh, come on. So stressful waiting to see what it does. And once I have this made, I think it'll be pretty easy to then also do the tires that are the slightly different scale. These slightly smaller ones. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks so good. Let's get a look here. Oh man, that is that is so sick looking. Oh man, I can't wait to print some of these off and get them on a toy. They look so good. Oh man, yeah. I do kind of wish they were a little bit rounder on the edges, and I wish I could think of a clean way to do that. Like, I mean, there are ways for me to do it, but they're pretty convoluted. Oh, it looks so good. I'm so happy. That came out great. Okay, copy this whole mess. And first I'm gonna gotta make it that like kind of tire color for a picture here. I'll snag thumbnail stuff later. But yeah, that's looking. What are we thinking? What do we think? That looks pretty good, right? Like, I'm psyched about that as a monster truck tire. I think that looks very cool. All right, but I did copy it all over, and we're gonna do new design, and we're gonna make the smaller version of the Hot Wheels Bigfoot Champions tire. And this will be a little bit complicated. Give that a minute. It's going to need a minute. There we go. There we go. Okay, because now what we got to do, we need to keep the hub size the same and shrink everything else, which is going to be complicated. So I want to ungroup, which is going to be a nightmare. And I want to, you know what I want to do is I want to take, yeah, we're going to have to continue ungrouping. We're going to ungroup again. Oh, I hate that. I didn't want to do that. Okay. We're going to give it a second to catch up to us. I do have ways to do this. This is a little complicated. And I think I'm going to have to steal this whole tread design and move it out of the way while we mess up the rest of it. All right, so let's go ahead and pick those and those and move the tire tread out of the way. Now here, I need to make this part smaller, but all of this stay the same. So we're going to ungroup and we're going to ungroup. I hate to do it, but we're going to ungroup again. Basically down to like, yeah, about there, where like nothing is really grouped anymore, I don't think. Yeah, all of these are separate pieces now. Okay. Because this outside piece is most of what we got to change. We're going to have to shrink some of the stuff in, but that's not too bad. All right. So let's grab the old calipers and get some measurements here. This tire is skinnier, a fair bit skinnier, in fact. So we're going to call that 14.5 millimeters. So we're going to come here real simply. Yeah. So all this is going to shrink down. At the very least, this piece and this piece have got to go in. So let's get those. It's doing the thing where it moves everything by a 1 millimeter snap. I don't love that. All right, there we go. So we got that. And I believe the hub size stays exactly the same. The hub's identical. Which is about to make the rest of this real tricky because we're going to have to recenter this. But that's okay. So now the height of this tire, this is where it gets tricky because we're making it smaller now. 7.15. Why not be exact? 27.15. Boom. Which then means this is going to be 27.15. Boom. Now we got to recenter this thing. Which means coming over. Oh boy, that is an ugly proposition. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, so that's pretty well centered that way. Now we just got to come up till it's centered, which I think that looks pretty good. And now I'll be interested to see how this actually comes together here. So let's take this and this and this and group those. See how that plays. Okay, good, good. Wow. Yeah, we don't have a ton of space to play with here because this is so much more shallow. Oh yeah, wow. Actually, I want to undo a lot of that. We got to rethink some of this. You know what? Just for the heck of it, let's just try. We're going to do that again. Then we'll do that. Okay, that brought everything back. And then this piece ends about there, which feels thick enough. Yeah, that gives, well, we could probably go a little bit. Probably bring it back just a little. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm feeling good about this now. In fact, let's go ahead and group that entire monstrosity. And once it's done with that, there we go. Now we can figure out what we're doing with these treads because they're all going to have to shrink on this a bit. Okay, so that's at least centered. Now let's try shift and let's see what happens if we bring it in. Let's get a solid left view here. I think we got to come up a little. Yeah, I think we want to cut a little bit deeper than that actually. Let's go to like there. Something like that. And then the whole thing's got to shift over to about there. That looks pretty. It probably needs to come up a little. That looks pretty even. Yeah, that looks good. All right, let's see what it does. Let's pull the trigger. Oh, this is terrifying. All that setup and all that hemming and hawing, and I have no idea if it's gonna like look good. I think it should. Like it's lining up like it should look pretty cool. Yeah, it's really there it goes. Oh, that does look cool. Yeah, it looks a lot like that tire. Where the hub's really kind of like oversized. Oh, that's pretty sick. Oh, I'm digging that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I can't wait to print those and put them on some trucks too. Like I'm really looking forward to seeing like the variations I can make now. Let's uh let's go ahead and anoint it with a more tire-like color. Actually, I think the lighter gray is a little easier to see. Like that does look pretty cool. Oh, I'm psyched. Yeah, like the tread looks weird, but it looks weird on this truck too. So like that doesn't hurt my feelings. Nice. All right, well, we've made a few different variations on the tires here. We did some updated work on the muscle figures. I think we're going to call that like a pretty successful 3D design stream. Um, yeah, we're going to call it, and I'm going to get some rest before I have the whole day ahead of me tomorrow. And yeah, we'll pick it up here. I'm going to be once again. I'm throwing it out there. Blitzkrieg Pro this Saturday in Enfield, Connecticut. You want to be there. Big show. Big show. Last show of the year. Pretty stoked on it. Can't wait to see everybody. Gonna have a great time. In the meantime, thank you for hanging out here on twitch.tv/Perry Von Vicious. Like, share, subscribe over on YouTube. Follow me on social medias, and keep your eye out for the new toys when they all go up on sale. As you can tell, I'm working on some pretty cool stuff, so I'm excited to see how it all turns out. Until next time, I've been Perry Von Vicious. I will see you all on Monday.